The following program is underwritten by the Nevada Irrigation District. Since 1921, providing clean and healthy drinking and irrigation water to more than 24,000 homes, farms, schools, and businesses in Nevada and Placer counties.
Hi, welcome to NCTV Interviews. I'm your host, Lew Sitzer, and today we have with us Ed Scofield, CEO of the Nevada County Fairgrounds. Welcome, Ed. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, Lew.
And Ed and I go back a lot of years, and I'm not sure how many, but I know that you've been now 26 years as the CEO.
This will be my 26th fair, Lew.
Right. And in that period of time, those 26 years, what kind of changes have you seen? That's a big question, I realize.
I think that the major changes I've seen in the fair is that it's become much more sophisticated. It was a pretty rambunctious event when I first came in, and it's really become much more of a family event now, which is exactly what we want it to be, Lew.
That's great. That's great. I know that as we will explore the events coming, primarily the fair, which is due soon, we'll see that the fair has upgraded and websites and blogs and all sorts of ways in which it has maintained its place in society and the community here.
Well, we do think back to the first years when I came in, and of course the mode of writing was electric typewriters, and everybody had one at their desk. Actually, I had a secretary that would pretty much correct and edit all my writing, and of course everything was done on carbon paper. I mean, it really has transformed in those years as far as the electronic use goes.
Right, and so yeah, just to explain that we were able to show what we have here with the video that the fair has put together and JPEG images, and it's so great what the technology has permitted us to do as a way to inform and promote.
And the challenge is keeping up with that technology, and we know that extremely well at the fair.
Right, and so you have a lot of activities at the fair that use that technology. I was thinking, gee, could we show up with cameras? And we're not yet ready to do the fair live, but we are ready to do something with the fair, I know. And that has happened in years past to some extent. I know that KVMR has a presence, KNCO has a presence there as well.
Yeah, the radios do have a presence there. They're full-time, both KNCO and KVMR. The TVs that have come in have been a little more difficult just because the signal is very hard to get in the fairgrounds.
Right. Well, maybe one of these days we'll have a live drop to the fairgrounds, or a mobile vehicle where we can transmit more easily.
The community TV.
TV.
We're looking forward to it, Lew.
I hope so. In our lifetime.
Absolutely.
All right. So give us some information now about the fair coming up.
Well, of course, right now that's our entire focus, and it is August 6th through the 10th. And it's 5 days of one of the most outstanding fairs in America. At one point it was named one of the 10 outstanding rural fairs in America. That was done by a publication in Los Angeles, and we've milked that over the years quite a bit. But we truly are, and it's held on California's most beautiful fairgrounds, and most fairs will not argue with us. It is a very, very beautiful fairgrounds. It has evolved, unfortunately. It's more expensive than it used to be. Shortly before I came on as a CEO, it was only 25 cents to get to the fair. Nowadays, it's $8 to come into the fair. That's during the fair. At the gate, there are lots of opportunities to get in for a much cheaper price if you buy in advance. The typical price in advance is $4. So I would encourage people going to our website and coming on down and picking up tickets.
And there is public transport now available, much more likely than in past?
Well, we've been doing it quite a while, Lou. Gold Country Stage does an extended run, and they bring a lot of people in. In fact, anybody that needs handicap access, Gold Country Stage takes care of that. And then we hire Durham Transportation, and they shuttle from the Nevada Union High School. And more people have caught on to that. It's a free shuttle, it costs nothing, and it drives you right up to the main gate, and it runs until 11:30 at night. So it's really a great way to come to the fair.
And there's lots of parking at the high school so that you don't have to worry about finding parking elsewhere.
That's right. I really think that by spreading out traffic like that, I mean, I can remember years when it might be 2 o'clock in the morning before people could get their cars out of that back parking lot. And now it's, especially with a lot of folks parking up at the high school, it's just much more organized. And we still have our peak periods where it can be tough coming in or going out, but for the most part, it's pretty smooth now.
Well, why don't we take a look at the video that Ed has provided for us as a way in which to give viewers a good idea of the variety of activities and events and people who attend.
You know, if I can, Lou, just looking at these, one of the things that is most exciting about the fair is how much is going on at any given time. Because we're looking at the carnival, and Butler Amusements has been with us. This will be their 26th year. They've been with me since the very beginning. But as you walk in around the fairgrounds, you'll find that there are stages. I think there's 5 stages running at all times. And you just walk from one area to the other, and you just walk into another entertainment venue. It's quite, to me, it's just exciting to be there.
Great food, entertainment all day. What are the hours?
We open at 10 o'clock in the morning, and we run till 11 at night. And on Fridays, we open it an hour earlier. It's the day for people with disabilities. So it's an opportunity for them to come in when it's a lot quieter.
And there's a Scholars Day as well.
Scholars Day is opening day. That's on Wednesday. And the Superintendent of Schools office sponsored that, and that's turned into one of our biggest days of the fair. It's a wonderful day with all the kids out there, and truly that's what the fair is about, the kids.
Yeah, it's great to reward them for the hard work they do in school.
Absolutely.
And these are some of the, what, is this an evening activity, or it looks like?
Well, these are some of the arena events. Those are the monster trucks you were just looking at. But yes, a lot of motorsports. We were just saying Nevada County loves their motorsports, and we always finish up the fair with the Destruction Derby on Sunday night.
Right, so all the cars that need to be destroyed are there winners? I mean, how are the winners? Are they given prizes?
Oh yeah,
Ribbons?
there's a purse for them, absolutely. Not the monster trucks; those are they're just acts that are brought in. But the Derby are local folks, and I'll point out we have a special competition this year, Lou. You can actually, if you get yourself or a sponsor to buy a car, we have 6 cars that can be bought. It's going to cost you $500. But the winner of that event gets to donate $1,000 to the charity of their choice or service organization, nonprofit. So go online and take a look at that. That's a new event. We're calling it the VIP Destruction Derby.
So anyone now who is eligible in time to buy one of these 6 cars can participate as a driver?
They can participate as a driver, or if that makes them nervous, we'll find a driver for them. But yes, it's your opportunity to get down there, and there's only going to be 6 cars, so you got a pretty good shot at it.
So if you've ever wanted to be in a Destruction Derby, and this is your chance, plus what a great idea to be able to donate money to a nonprofit charity.
You have to name in advance who your nonprofit or charity is going to be, and if you win, then we write a $1,000 check to that charity.
And for all the viewers out there, be sure to keep in mind that NCTV is a nonprofit, and we are eligible here. If any of you want to go ahead and support it for us or any other
Absolutely.
nonprofit. Really, there are so many good ones here.
You could drive, Lou.
What is the rate of injury in something like this? I know you're strapped in pretty well, but just curious.
You know, of course, we have an ambulance out at all our arena events at all times, and if somebody is injured, then a second ambulance is brought in immediately. Our events do not go on without an ambulance out there. The Derby, I don't honestly recall. We have more injuries with horse shows, our draft horse show, for instance, rodeo, that type of thing. But the Destruction Derby has been pretty much accident-free.
Mm-hmm. So will there be more than these 6 cars destroying one another?
Oh yeah, that's just
that's just the beginning.
People like you and I that would have the opportunity, but that is just the beginning, and then we roll into our normal Destruction Derby, and it's an elimination process. And like I say, it's kind of the finale of the Nevada County Fair. When you look over by the arena and you can see the steam rolling up from those broken radiators, you know the fair is just about coming to an end.
Right. Well, we also have some photographs of the fair. I don't think we've seen them yet, so maybe we should go on and take a look and talk about those as well.
I love photographs of the fair. Lots of opportunities for kids to participate. We encourage interaction type events, and that's just part of our craft exhibits out there. We do a flag raising every morning. The Boy Scouts do that for us. And of course the carnival. Kids love the big slide. And agriculture, of course, is
huge.
The major part of any fair. Without the agricultural element, you really don't have a fair, is the way I would look at it.
Right, and the schools, particularly the high schools with 4-H and FFA, have really done a great job of teaching kids how to take care of animals and how to, actually a lot of the kids depend on sales at the fair for income.
Well, that's probably the biggest event of the fair, and that's our junior livestock auction, and that's where the community really comes out and supports these kids, buys their animal. So many of these kids use that as their seed money to get into college. Between the junior livestock auction and we now have an ag mechanics auction that's a FFA type program, the fair will generate over $500,000 in the 2 auctions, primarily the junior livestock auction.
And most of that goes to?
It goes to the kids.
That's incredible.
There's a small administrative fee, but most of it goes to the kids. And that's a tremendous tribute to the community of Nevada counties, the communities of Nevada County.
Yeah. And another thing to mention, and we'll come back to it I'm sure, is the tremendous craft and competition items that are take place at the fair that the community is really importantly participating in.
Well, and again, the heart and soul of the fair is the exhibit program, and normally we'll have nearly 10,000 entries of things you and I can enter into the fair, and that's what's going on right now at our fair office. I think there's over 300 categories that you can enter into, and we always look at that as an indicator as to how well the fair is going with the numbers of exhibits that are coming in. And we also say that it's probably one of the best ways to participate in the fair when you can come out and take a look at, there's a number of ribbons right there, Supreme Champions, produce. It's fun to come out and look at your own ribbon.
And there are more and more local growers. I know there's a Nevada County Grown now label which is being attached to so many of the local food producers.
Absolutely,
so
and becoming more and more dominant in our area, and hopefully we'll become more and more involved with the fair too.
Right, yeah. Well, great.
We do have an agricultural exhibit. Last year we featured agricultural in general, and this year we're narrowing it down a bit and focusing on segments of it, and this year it'll be on the wineries. And
you know, I was just going to ask you whether or not there is a wine competition with awards given.
there is a wine competition, yes. It's not a commercial wine. It's homegrown or homemade wine, but yes. And that's always held, I I can't tell you the day. You need to go to our website and look for the wine competition. It's actually held in our back patio, and it's an all-day-long event with the tasting back there.
So I know there are 13 commercial wineries in the area, maybe more by now, but those would not be entries because they are commercial?
We often talk about doing a commercial wine tasting, and I don't doubt someday the fair will do it. It's kind of a difficult time for the wineries. It's a very, very busy time for them, and it's a big commitment. But I just kind of think as we grow more and more, and we're growing rapidly with the winery industry in Nevada County, at some point it is going to be part of our fair.
Right. Yeah. Well, in order for people to participate, and I'm thinking of all the people who are canning and drying and freezing and bottling, how does one best approach bringing something to the fair for a competition?
Well, you first of all have to get your exhibit entered, and that's what's going on at the fair office right now. More and more people are doing it online. When you come to the fair office, there is a small fee. We work with you. But if you do it online, it's free of charge. And those periods are coming to an end pretty quickly. Actually, July 12th is the final day. We're actually going to extend that a week. And I would encourage going online. It'll walk you through it.
Right. So the website, which is www.nevadacountyfair.com,
yes,
is where to go, and then you can access the information as to how to
yes.
enter.
And all you're going to do is enter at this point, and then it gives you the instructions on the day that you bring your particular item in, and it's spread out. And then it will also tell you when it will be judged. It's a process,
right.
And then of course it will tell you how to pick it back up at the end of 5 days too.
So how many people are involved in your office? When you say it's a process, I can already see the people who are trying to manage this. How many people are involved in the office work, and then how many people in the fair itself?
Well, probably in my office right now we have probably 12 to 15 people in there. And I can remember, Lew, when we talk about technology, our office right now would just be swamped with people in line and numbers of our people trying to work them through. And now with the online process, we kind of miss that because more and more people are doing it online. We probably have close to 30 people working out there right now. And when we come into the fair, when we talk about all the jobs we have, we'll have over 200 people that are employees of the fair.
And
we have 5, including myself, 5 full-time people right now. Everybody else is a temporary position.
And how has it been as you're now preparing for the fair, dealing with the troops of firefighters who have been residing and working through? I mean, you had quite a setup there.
We had quite a setup, yes, Lew. It was the United States Forest Service, and to tell you the truth, they were not a problem at all. They were very wonderful to work with. They're very well organized, and they just take over. We had some logistic issues. We certainly had to switch some of our events around. We had to move parking around. 4th of July was a challenge where there really was no parking out there, but it went very well. And the Forest Service just made it easy for us.
And how was your attendance at the 4th of July?
You know, we don't actually do that. The Chambers of Commerce and the Downtown Association do that. My understanding is that it was down, but not dramatically. And under the circumstances, I think they're very pleased with it.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been a difficult time for all of us because of the smoke and heat and just uncomfortableness of.
And we were fortunate because 4th of July it was pretty nice. The night before was Music in the Mountains big concert, and again the weather was there was smoke, but nothing like what we're dealing with right now.
Right. Well, I know there are other events that the fair promotes, and I'd like to go on to the Draft Horse Classic. I know we have some photos. Maybe that will be a way of discussing the Draft Horse Classic. But how long has that been happening now?
The first Draft Horse Classic, isn't that a wonderful shot?
It's my favorite, yeah.
And I can remember that too. That was last year's shot. The first Draft Horse Classic was in 1987. So this is, what, the 22nd annual one coming up.
And how was that brought in? It's been a great favorite since, but what was the thinking?
Well, actually, the people that were here at the time, if you remember, Jack Parnell was the director, the secretary of Food and Agriculture at that time. And Jack had a team of horses, and he would come to our country Christmas fair, and he would do draft horse rides, wagon rides. And he and I were riding during the Christmas fair, and he said, "You know, Ed, I've always wanted to do a draft horse show, and I always wanted to do it at the California State Fair." But he said, "Why would I want to do that when I've got the most beautiful fairgrounds in California right here?" And Jack was, being the Secretary of Food and Agriculture for 3 years, gave us assistance to get that show up and running.
And many of these horses are brought in from quite a distance, aren't they?
Yes, that's a concern with fuel cost. We have them coming in. We've had them come in as far as Canada. Our regular hitches that come in, the furthest one we have is Idaho. We have a big hitch that comes in from there. We've got them that come down from Oregon. Most of the big hitches will come to our show and then leave immediately, and they go to the Los Angeles County Fair, where there's another big show down there. But we've really become the premier draft horse show in the western United States, and we're very, very proud of that show.
And you've got a great bronze horse at the beginning of the area for the fairgrounds, symbolizes the Draft Horse Classic. Really beautiful.
Todd Andrews, the artist that put that together, and a woman named Kosa Makiska, who had a restaurant up in Nevada City, and she's since deceased. It was their idea, and it had nothing to do with the draft horse show.
Really?
They just came and said, wouldn't it be wonderful if we had this beautiful bronze horse out in the front of the fairgrounds? And I think we were quite skeptic at first, but you know, you see that horse now and you know exactly where it is. You not only know it's at the Nevada County Fairgrounds, but you know you're at Grass Valley when you see that.
Right. And it has been described as the most beautiful fairgrounds in the state. And I know that's because we helped put that together. But it is. It's a lovely place, and it's used year-round. Another event but the Draft Horse Classic is coming up.
It's in September. It's the 18th through the 21st.
And people can get their tickets now?
Absolutely, and people are buying their tickets now, especially the Saturday night event fills up and sells out pretty rapidly.
And what is that Saturday night event?
Well, there are 6 specific shows that go on in the arena, and each show is a different series of competitions, and within the competitions are special acts, a number of Frisian acts that are absolutely beautiful. We have some of the best equestrian acts for a horse show anywhere. So each show is different and yet has the same elements in it. It's just beautiful. If you haven't seen it, people come back year after year to see it.
Right. And this area is well known for horses, horse care, and actually has some quite famous people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what we find here on this one is people will come out and they'll see the draft horse show, and we've had people that say, "Oh my gosh, I want to buy a draft horse," and they'll buy them locally, and the next thing you know, they're training, and maybe we've got them entered in our little mother lode horse show, and they're building up to where perhaps they can get entered into the classic. We're a little more, because the big horses, if they spook, can be a big problem. So not everybody can come in and enter into the draft horse show. It's kind of the elite, the best drivers that can go in there.
Right. So encouraging people to go online. You can get your tickets online?
Absolutely. And again, if you go to that NevadaCountyFair.com, you can either go to the fair or you can go to the Draft Horse Classic. You can go to, we do RV camping out there. You can see all the elements of the fair on that website.
And before we leave the program, I wanted to be sure that we cover the Christmas fair.
Well, that was one that was formed back in 1985. I had my fingers in all of these, and it's actually evolved into one of the top handcrafted shows in Northern California anyways, and again, we're quite proud of that one. It's a little easier to do because it is a craft show, and it's in the winter, and most everything is inside the buildings. The fair and the draft tour show are kind of subject to the weather. The heat during a fair can hurt our attendance.
Right.
The type of weather that we're experiencing right now is
Sure.
not good for the fair.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Rain is very destructive to the draft tour show because if it becomes too slippery and the horses, if there's any question about the horses' safety, then the show has to be canceled. So we're like the farmer, we're very subject to the weather.
And you have to be sort of willing to accept what happens and just go on.
You know, you stress about it so much, and you know, I think I've been through just about everything. And then, actually, in 1988, the second year of the Draft Horse Classic, we lost the Classic because of the 49er fire.
Right.
And at some point, you stress about losing them, and then you finally make that decision, and it's like this huge weight goes off of your shoulder. I mean, financially, you're in a world of hurt, and you're going to have to work yourself out of it. But you've made that decision, and you just move on to the next event.
Well, talking about moving on, you're possibly moving on to becoming a supervisor. You're running is it District?
District 2, yes.
And what's that like for you these days?
Well, Sandy Woods, I announced my retirement some time ago. I told my board this would be my last year. Sandy Woods is my deputy manager, and Sandy has already been selected to fill my position when I leave. And I think that she sometimes feels that I have left already because campaigning for these offices is quite time-consuming. I think that I actually was sitting at home not realizing what retirement might feel like, and this opportunity came along, and here I am, Lew.
Time for a new career.
I guess so, yes.
Well, I want to thank you, Ed. It's been a pleasure once again, and be sure to encourage people to attend the fair, also the Draft Horse Classic and the Christmas Fair as well. So lots to do here in Nevada County. Thanks for watching NCTV Interviews. Thank you, Gail and Cassandra, Ben and Marilyn, and Bill Carquest, our engineer, Michael Lamarca, our new executive director. Thanks for watching.